Alright, hey YouTube, this is Kevin and Ian. We're going to be doing a Let's Play video of Shogun Total War 2. And we are going to do, I would say a series.
Yeah,
like a series of...
We'll try it out. It's a great game for a series, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Some shorter episodes. We won't play for huge amounts of time, probably like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, right,
roughly.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Awesome.
We're gonna go ahead and start a new campaign, Shogun 2, and I think Ian and I discussed this. We are probably gonna go ahead and go with the Tokugawa. Just try to stick with the timeline.
Stick with history. Yeah, that's the greatest thing about Total War is it really gives you a choice. You can either recreate history. They give you that option to just somewhat accurately recreate history. Or just completely wreck it. Just put a wrecking ball through history and just change it all. So,
right.
I'm a big history guy. It's like one of my passions in life. So I always kind of can't help but go with the compulsion to recreating it. I like to try and recreate it. So, but yeah, so that would.
Hey, how about you take us through? Or I'll take us through some of the. I'll take us through some of the different clans here and some of the benefits. So. Although we're choosing the Tokugawa, we're going to go ahead and go through some of the other kinds and tell you the benefits of them. I've actually played as a Chosokabe. They actually are a very good starting unit, and they have extremely good bow infantry. And give me 1 second here.
All set up.
Okay. So yeah, Chosokabe, good. Like it says here, initial challenge, pretty easy, relatively easy.
Right.
I've never had the chance to play the Shimazu.
They're actually the first time I played this before Total War often inspires me to kind of look up maybe a part of history I don't know about super well.
Mm-hmm.
That happened here when I played Shogun 2. This is actually the first group I played with.
Okay.
It's pretty cool because you have your own island. So you can kind of take over that island,
right.
And you have kind of a nice defensive position, and then you can kind of launch attacks out to wherever you want along the whole island.
It looks like they start here and then you go east.
Yeah, you can go east. You can either go up north and take the opposite part. I mean, whatever works, tactically for you at the time. So it's a good spot. You're not constantly getting attacked because you have that barrier of water. That's a good place to start.
Hence the initial challenges.
Exactly.
And then it looks like you get really good katana heroes later in the game.
Yep.
All that stuff. Let's go to the next one, the Hojo. And looks like they start here in the south. And it looks like they have some, it says reduced recruitment costs for upkeep siege units. I'm assuming that will be, because you're in the kind of the middle of the island,
right,
you're going to be fighting a lot.
Yeah, and that, the part of the island here, which is depending on how you're looking at a map, I guess it's actually be northern the further you go to the right, because it's,
right.
But, yeah, that's kind of where most of the clans are located in this area. So if you start anywhere in here, it does get a little kind of get crazy quick because you're bumping up against all of these other clans.
Right. So here we got the Mori. Looks like they have a pretty decent starting area. They kind of have like this peninsula here, kind of separated from both islands as well.
Yep.
And let's see here. It says increased campaign movement. Oh wow, that's cool for all ships.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's especially huge in Shogun because in the previous, say, Total Wars, there wasn't like a huge emphasis on ships. Like in this one,
all, and
this
except for Empire was the first one that really brought ships here with
Empires,
the naval battle.
And then this one, it seems like in Shogun Total War 2, you have to have a good fleet, or you'll just get really wrecked. Like later in the
absolutely.
game. So you have to have a good fleet.
You're on islands, so when you're going to different islands, you got to land troops, and so you're using ships almost every turn. After after you get through that beginning stage of the game, you'll be using ships about every turn.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. Just a little heads up, we do have a dog here, so if you hear a random bark, then sorry.
Barks or whines.
Or whines or something like that. Okay, so the Oda are actually one of the major clans during this time period.
Yes.
In 1555, Oda Nobugana was actually killed at Kyosho Tower, which is 10 years past from the starting time.
Right.
So it's an interesting timeline. They were like behind the shogunate, putting a puppet up there.
Right, and they were a big part in Tokugawa's rise, as far as the Tokugawa were stuck between the Imagawa and the Oda, as far as who they should be relying on, because the Tokugawa you start as a pretty low level players,
Right.
and through all the infighting of all these families, the Tokugawa are kind of the last ones standing.
Right.
But before all that happens, the Oda are a big player in the war for the ruler of Japan.
Right, yeah. And they start off here, right here, dead center in the middle of entire Japan.
That's why it's hard.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's hard.
And we have the date. So the date seems like they have a huge island. However, their main province is right up here where no one else is at.
Yeah,
but
you're
a lot of these are
already-
protectorates.
Yeah.
And and then you have one right over here, and you have to
That's
protect
weird.
that too. So it seems like, like it says here, normal challenge provinces, and you own one province, but there's a bunch of protectorates around you.
Right.
And they seem like they have pretty good bonuses right here. So you can recruit superior no-dachi samurai, which is one of the better units in the game.
Yeah. And see this, and once you get a little further in, you're going to be a lot more knowledgeable than I am, because we were just talking about this too. By the time I got Shogun 2, I've been playing Total War for many years. At the time I got this, my computer just, I don't know what happened. It took a shit. That's what happened. I lost it, and I haven't really played since. So I only have about 8 hours of Shogun under my belt. So I'm going to rely on your knowledge of the units and more the strategies. I'm not very familiar with the tactics of their style of warfare.
Right. Okay.
Someday we'll plug in Empire, and I will rule it. But
there we go. Yeah.
But I will be the learner here for sure.
Not a problem. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the Takedas. From my experiences, the Takedas are one of the harder oppositions in the game. They start off relatively strong already.
Yeah, really powerful
and
military.
really powerful military. One of in the history of Japan, one of the better militaries, just hardcore warrior class clan.
That ended up being their undoing, is the fact that they weren't good at anything else.
Right, exactly.
And so everyone turned on them.
Yeah, exactly. And then they start right here, dead center as well. They had the one province, bunch of protectorates as well. So let's see here, superior cavalry. You start off with amazing cavalry in the game, and it does really help in the open field battles. So, but however, that could be a crippling effect when you're taking a castle,
right?
Because you have to dismount.
You have to rely on your infantry.
Exactly.
And that's the thing I do remember about the basic tactics is it became a little more simplified as far as cat and mouse, or not cat and mouse, but I suppose you'd say like A
rock,
beats
paper,
B.
scissor.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know why I said cat and mouse. Right, rock paper. Yeah, exactly. So archers beat infantry from a distance, but the cavalry can destroy them, and it's sort of this more evened out.
Right, exactly.
It's not so complicated as something like Empire.
Yeah, exactly. So once we get into the game, I'll go ahead and explain what units beat what, and so on and so forth. And so the last clan before we go and start here is the Usugai. Is that how you pronounce
It's
that?
actually it's a Yusugi.
Usugi. Okay, Usugi. All right, cool. Yeah, so Usugi, they have a really good starting spot. The reason I say that is because it's open to the west, where the trading routes are up here, and then like you see here, increased trade income.
Yep.
So the only problem I foresee with trading is the introduction of Christianity. So once you open your ports up to Western trade, you bring in those Christians, and then they become rebels.
You bring in Christians and guns.
Yeah, Christians and guns, and that's how that combination works out sometimes. So, and all right, so we went through some of them. If you see any classes or more, I would love to see them in the comment. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the Tokugawa here, and the reason we're starting with the Tokugawa, like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to stick with the we're trying to stick with history, kind of relive
obviously
it,
it's not going to be exact recreation. The only thing that will really be recreated is the fact that the Tokugawa were ultimately victorious over all these other clans you see listed here.
Exactly. So, that's why we're going to go ahead and do that.
Now, are we doing a campaign, or are we going to do a short? You want to do the basic, the long campaign, which is the more general, or shorter?
Let's go do the short campaign. Okay. So, and then I see us maybe doing some other Total Wars as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I'm down
let's go ahead and
do it.
let's do the short campaign for now. So let's go ahead and get started. And well, like I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and talk through it. Let us know if we missed any points, stuff like that. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about basics of the game and help you learn how to play and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely curious because obviously there is an underlying similarities between every single Total War game. Like you build in your infrastructure, like roads and all that. But beyond that, the best thing about this series, we'll go ahead and let this play first.
1545. This is Sengoku Jidai, the age of the country at war. For 200 years, the Ashikaga shoguns have ruled from Kyoto. Great splendor and power were theirs. Now the overmighty clans no longer obey. The time has come for a new warlord to become shogun. But who will be victorious? Tokugawa lands have always provided for our people. Our enemies are many and envious. They threaten our borders and look for any weakness. Our wars have a power beyond the sword. But if wars fail in shadows, in silence, our ninja. To know deception is to be on guard against its use. Few can hide from our Mitsuke. We have Imagawa friends. Diplomacy does much. Our allegiance gives us security, but we must stand alone. Bishamonten, the war god, has woken. Now is the time to defeat our enemies. All will bow to the Tokugawa clan. We wait no longer. Destiny calls.
Whoa.
We are the Tokugawa.
I am inspired.
Following the murder of our Lord Kiyoyasu by the treacherous Imagawa, they assisted our new daimyo in the claiming of his power at Okazaki. This was at the cost of our freedom, for we are now their vassals. We who are descended from emperors past. Now there is full conflict with the order. But under the protection of the Imagawa, we have the opportunity to rebuild our strength and expand our territory and influence once again. To start by capturing Owari would be wise, enabling us to rid ourselves of the order threat without the need to burden our clan with additional enemies. The Kiso of South Shinano control a province containing an abundance of the finest stone. This valuable trade resource will be vital to the construction of the great castles befitting of a clan of rich royal heritage, such as our own. The Kisa will submit to our wishes or be destroyed. The province of Totomi has no notable advantages, but seizing it from the Imagawa will be a vital step once we choose to take our revenge. However, with power and influence will surely come the ire of Kyoto. And should the shogun feel threatened, he will rally his subjects against us. In that event, we must be prepared to fend off all who would attack us, no matter from where that threat emerges. If the shogun wishes to halt our expansion, let him come here and reckon with us himself.
All right. Well, that's a lot of information there. I'll go ahead and let you guys know that when you start as a Tokugawa, it's not fair at all. Okay, so the reason I say that. Alright, we'll just go ahead and ignore that. We don't need that. We're kind of pros here. Alright, so the reason I say it's hard to start off as a Tokugawa is because this guy right here, the Oda army, is right on your doorstep. And for for me, and the best strategy was to take my general, my army, back to home, where I have a defendable area, like you know, so that
instead of just staying in the open.
Right, exactly. So what we're gonna go ahead and create is actually, instead of creating a one archer unit and one yari, we're actually gonna create 2 archer units because it's better for us to have archers picking at the Oda army while they're coming up to the wall. And once we survive the second turn, we'll create 2 more yari units. That is that's my kind of strategy. If there, if there's other ones, then you just let us know. But that's kind of what's worked for me so far. Another important detail is this game, more than any previous game, you have to rely on your agents a lot.
Okay.
So first of all, you try to level up your Mitsuke, your ninjas, all your monks, all those types of things. So I'm gonna go ahead and first of all, I'm gonna get my Mitsuke into my settlement and oversee the settlement so I can help them level them up. And then we'll deal with these constructions later. Right now, we have to
deal with the Oda a little
bit. So
now, do you let them, in your experience of playing this, will the Oda right now, like the next turn, will they come attack the city right here?
They will attack.
Okay,
regardless how many different ways I've tried it, the Oda always come to attack.
Okay.
So we're actually going to go ahead and before this battle starts, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to come back and the next episode, check it out. And we're going to come back and we're going to continue from here. So we're going to pick up the battle. So definitely check out the second episode. Thanks for watching our introduction so far. Any other... like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that stuff.
Always.
And yeah, we look forward to hearing back from you.
See you in the Battle of Mikawa.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Alright, we'll see you guys soon.
Hi.
Thank you so much.